Hi, I'm Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where we break down all the goals, well, everywhere pretty much. And today we're doing the FA Cup. It's Manchester United versus Leicester. And if you're new around here, don't forget to I hate saying subscribe, man. I don't want to sound like a YouTuber. I've been a professional football coach for over 20 years, doing technical analysis as well, being a sports agent, doing loads of things in the old football-y world for longer than a lot of you have been born. But right now, I want to show you a couple of bad things, okay? And there's lots of things we're going to break down about this Manchester United play and Leicester play and modern football. And you're going to see a lot of it in this game because there's no VAR and there's so many issues because players rely on referees and so do managers and coaches with their system. And when they don't get the call, everything breaks down. So that's why you just do certain things properly in the first place. Now, I want you to look. There's just a long ball up from the keeper and they've played it to the right back. Right back heads it down. This is where he's looking to do it to receive the ball here. But you can see a fundamental problem with the way the Man United are playing, well, first off with their system. And here's the thing. One of my favourite systems of coaching is with a back three and with four in midfield and three up front. It's so easy to beat teams because it's just so difficult to deal with. But again, you do need the players to understand what they're doing. So when this ball gets headed away, very, very simply, defended properly here, and you see the centre midfielder pick the ball up, bam. This is the issue we've got right here. Now, the centre midfielder, it's not centre midfielder, I'm not sure who it is for Man United, to be honest, picking the ball up. Look at his body position, look where he's facing, that's where he's facing. So this is the area that he wants to drop the ball. The guy's knocked it, he wants to knock it back, and then you want to try and find an out ball, which is somewhere in this space over here. When you're playing this system, generally what happens is, I'm talking about the system, Man United system, is you create a problem on one side of the field where all of their players get suckered in, and you release it to the other side where you've got extra bodies, runners in behind. You normally want to do that on their side of the field, not on your side of the field. You don't want to be doing big switches across your 18-yard box around that area. But unfortunately, you're in a situation when you have to. Right now, you want to be looking at 1, 2, and 3 players. Nobody is coming to help this guy here at all. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4 Leicester players. They've created a pressure pocket right here, and you need to get rid of this ball as fast as you can because you're in danger. Look where his back is. His back, and he's facing this way. That's the only way you can play the ball. Right? You hear this most common phrase, by the way, and it's wrong, but I'll say it anyway, and then I'll explain to you the right way that it is. Face the way that you're playing. Well, that's kind of true. But if you have to face the way you're playing, you've made the fundamental mistake is you need to face the way you want to play first. You should be facing the way that you want to play initially, right? And that's very, very key to lots of problems in football. And if you're not facing the right way, that means you have to be backed up. Your heels aren't on the line. There's loads of different ways of why you're not facing in the correct situation. But sometimes you get caught because you're receiving a ball and your back is the way that you want to play, so you have to knock it backwards. And this is the situations when you have to play the way you're facing. So you have to be knocking it back. Remember, right now, because I'm going to change the angles a little bit. Look at these 2 players, okay? So the Leicester player is right next to the Man United player. So when we move this forward just a little bit, you can see that Leicester player was with this defender a second ago, but now he's got here and squeezed. And this guy should have dropped over just to there, into this space here, so he could have passed him the ball here and got rid of it. Doesn't understand it, doesn't realise that he's basically blocking the pass because, look, as a player, can you see him? And he's in front of the ball, the guy with the ball, and him passing it. Now, he just tries to turn and get himself out of danger and puts himself in danger and loses the ball. Terrible play, really. Now, he's just lost possession. You can see here he is right here. He's just lost possession. This guy's won it, knocked it on, and away they're going to the races. The reason he's lost the ball is because he has no one to pass the ball to and nothing to do. So he makes a stupid decision, turning into traffic, getting tackled and losing the ball, right? Absolutely terrible decisions because this guy, as soon as he's pressured over there, should have just dropped into that space, asked for the ball, bump, and away they go into that space there. Bump, little chip, but off they go, or a long driven pass over here. None of that is happening. None of it. They're not anticipating it. They don't understand it. It's just too far beyond their, footballing brains. And I'm doing a big course, you can call it, or a long play out of explaining why all these players are so terrible nowadays and what's really wrong, what they do right, why they play well in certain systems and don't in others. It breaks all the way down to youth football through the academies all over the world. The second part of that series should be coming out into the international break. I might do it before then. because Cash has been under loads and loads of pain lately, and hopefully he's on the up, and things are going to be better coming up, so there'll be more and more videos. But off Leicester go. Now, also, I want you to pay attention to this. Watch where the Man United team are. Look at how many players are committed. Look over here. And no, by the way, even though they're all committed, no one was a passing option because there was Leicester, I was going to say a Leeds player there, a Leicester player between every one of the passing options. Terrible. Now it's just a run, buff into the space, and of course he's not ready or set defending because he was just in the transitional phase where his team had the ball, and he didn't show an option just to get rid of it. He was too busy just not playing football. You know, football is always defined about what you do when you don't have the ball, not what you do when you have the ball. When you have the ball is a very, very short period of time, right? What makes you a great player is being in the correct positions when you receive it. Why? Because you moved when you didn't have the ball. No one talks about these things anymore because people just don't know. Remember, this is what we're looking at here. We're looking at the two players and the one in the middle. As we move this forward here, oh, look, they've pulled them all across, and it's a simple smashing towards the goal. Now, this is where it gets interesting. You'll say, okay, it bounces off the keeper. It's not a direct pass. So this is where it gets really sort of hazy in the offside rule. Is he offside? Not when the ball's kicked. When the keeper touches it, is he? No, not really, because the ball's in front of him at that point and it's coming off the keeper. First one to react, shot, goal, bomb, and there's no VAR review. Simple, goal. It's that simple. This is what I want you to see. Watch this kid here, right? He identifies the space. He doesn't even know he's running. These guys are going to close the ball down. They all go with this guy here and leave a massive gap in the middle. Look, just watch. Off they go. Look at that space. Boom. Not one single Man United player identifies that the middle of the field, right, is a danger area and anyone should be in that zone there. No one. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here, 2 there, and 0 over there. That is, I mean, it just comes down to shape. I just think Ruben Abrams, he's just doing all the wrong things. You just don't stick to a system that your players can't play. You build to that system. You go, right, I want to play to that system, but I can't do it yet. I've got to do half and a hybrid, and certain parts of that I can do as I build to do that. And he's well said, he can't coach any other way. And in my little coaching video, when you're going to understand, coaches can't generally coach multiple systems and formations. It takes them so long to learn one, they don't actually know how to coach the other one. Now, there's a difference between playing in one and coaching a system as well. People go, oh, I can play. Yeah, but they played in that system. Doesn't mean they can coach it. It's because they don't know all of the things that all the other players are supposed to be doing to enable them to do their job inside of the system. So, yeah, I think he's just ruining himself. Just wanted to show you when this shot is taken, though. Look, he's clearly onside. Boom, shot's taken. Yeah, he's onside. Yeah, let's just move it on. So right here, we've actually got some decent hold-up play by the wee kiddie. And Højlund, can't ever remember, to be honest. I think like Højlund and Xerxes for United, they're not very good, but they're okay. So you've got to understand, not very good and okay. So if you're not very good, and you've got lots of players around you that are decent, you can be okay, right? But if they're terrible, then you're not very good. So you're only really as good as the sum of your parts around you. And if you don't keep getting goal scoring opportunities or the ball sent to you in certain scenarios, you can never sort of progress as a striker because it's hard enough as it is, especially against in the Premier League and all this nonsense. But this is decent. And what this does, because this is the way that these two players will become better, is if United can sustain an attack. All right, sustain, what does that mean? What do we really mean when we say sustain an attack? Keep the ball in the opposing third and have them under pressure that we might score a goal. Not that we're passing the ball around sideways and left and right and they're just defending and we're not doing anything. Here, United are trying to do things, but also Leicester make a crucial error, and I'm going to show you that right now. As we move this forward, though, watch, he's holding up the ball, doing himself a really decent job, holding the guy off, and look how wide you are there. You need to be a couple yards in so he can see you and give you the ball easier, right? You've got to make the guy who's doing all the hard work his job a little bit easier. And that's what I mean where he's not getting quite enough help. Just standing out wide in the space isn't supporting him. And you go, oh yeah, but it's easier for him to be out there because he's got more space when he receives the ball. Yeah, but he might not receive the ball because he might not see him because he's spending all of his time looking down at the ball and battling. He needs to put his head up, look over there and do that. That's what I'm talking about, why the player on the ball, he's kind of okay, but he's not very good. Or if that other guy is better, it makes his job easier and he becomes a better player because he's not looking at the ball. He can easily he doesn't even have to look at the player because he's already getting the shout and he knows where he's going to be. Now he does get the ball wide, but this is where the fatal sort of error from Leicester comes in, and quite frankly, United don't do good enough. Look, he goes to run at him. Defender gets his body shape spot on, absolutely spot on. He's showing him down the line. He's like, "Go on, lad." He can't get in behind him here because he's perfectly, set. All he has to do is take half a step back, and he can tackle him. Does a really good job. As he moves forward, look, you can see he's stuttering. He's trying to get behind him. Defender's like, "Go on then, mate. I'm going to tackle you. Go on. Go behind me. Try to go behind me." Perfect. Absolute perfect defending. And this is the error that Leicester make. His mate comes over to help him, which is perfect. Right? See, this is the other thing. After he's given the ball away, right? Given the ball out wide, he starts drifting into the box. If he just stays there, he's perfect. Absolute perfect. But he takes himself out of the game. He makes it so he can't be passed to, because you can't pass to him there. If he's right there, you can. And maybe he whips the ball in from there. Or maybe he drops it down here. But because he started to run away from the ball, you can see that he makes him... So there's nothing that this guy can do now on the ball. Nothing. All he can do is go 1v1 because you've run away from him. Now everyone says, "Oh yeah, but he's a striker. He's supposed to lay the ball out and make him run into the box so he can receive the cross." Yeah, if the guy's going to cross it. But if the guy doesn't cross it, you still need to go and support him. And then you look and you see there's people in the box. So I can't really do that. And I can't make a long busting run from here into the near post because he's not going to whip the ball in. So the circumstances are different. I need to drop, help, and support him right there. And that's not what's happening. So this is the crucial error that Leicester make. Got tongue-tied right here. Bam! There, he wins the ball. You see it. You know when I said his body shape was perfect and you can't go behind him because he's going to get tackled? Perfect. Okay? He does. Now, this is where his teammate here, this guy, and him swarm, win this ball, and go away with it. They don't. Watch what they do. They let him have it. Both of them should have gone after that ball, but both of them stand still. One of them could have gone after the ball, but they refuse to. He's lost control. You've seen him think. That's when you attack. Great. He's lost possession. Let's go and make sure he continues to lose possession. We take it off him and we go. And that's the point. That's what you're looking for as a quality defender to win the ball. And they both stop and stand there. Shocking. And I like Leicester defending. I think Leicester around the box in the Premier League, if you watch them, they're actually pretty decent pressuring the ball, knowing when to go and when not to, because they do a lot of it. The problem is they do so much of it, they make a lot of mistakes as well. So that's the key point there. And this is now you can see United have got players forward. They can sustain the attack. Ball gets dropped. Look, there he is. From there, he passes from there, drops it. Oh, how did I make a worthy line like that? That's interesting. And then he's bending that over into the box. That's what's okay, not bad. And you've pulled, if you actually look at the numbers, how many Leicester players are there? Is that a decent crossing opportunity? You bet it is. We've got 3v2 on the back post. Problem is, when the ball comes in, it's not really attacked properly. And I'll tell you, well, actually, let me rewind it and show you. But this is the point I wanted to show you. Look at when they're jumping, right? No one is going to win the ball here except for the defenders, because they're not running towards the goal to head the ball. There isn't any power on the ball. The person that's actually heading the ball has to provide the power, so they can't really do anything because they're all the strikers are facing this way. So that's the way that they're going to put the power onto the ball. So it makes it simple for them to head the ball away, dump into the space. Now it's about the second ball. But you know that laziness a second ago where they got the nick and Leicester players should have gone after it to win the ball? The laziness again is here because look, you got players here, little 1v1 race. The United player wins it. And don't tell me it's rat face, is it? Knocks the ball down. You've still got your numbers in the box. And this is what I'm talking about, sustained pressure. Not many teams in the Premier League normally have 3 players in and around the 6-yard box or the 12-yard box. The penalty spot, the 12-yard spot, right? They don't normally have that. They normally have 1 or 2. They're rotating 1 or 2. But when you've got 3, this is when it's dangerous and you can put crosses into the box. Cash is all tongue-tied today. Look, when he's feeling better, he's just getting all his words wrong. Just want to show you this as well. Watch. Look how long. 1, 2. Brings the ball down. Has no chance of tackling him. It's too far away. He has backup. He can go. He needs to bait. The other issue as well, though, he needs to go this way. So he forces him that side. because he's got a teammate there, right? That's what he wants to do. Or if he knows he's going to go down the line, you run with him, depending on which way you want to pressure it. If you fancy your pace versus his, you take him to the line. If you don't, you cut off the line, and then you start putting pressure on the ball. What they decide to do, Leicester players, nothing. 1, 2, 3. There's no pressure on the ball at all whatsoever. Do you see that? It's way too long. If it's less than, I don't know, God knows how long, like 3 seconds, it's just way too long. He has to be there quicker, has to be shutting him down. It's just not good enough. And that enables him just to run. See, the other thing as well, because he doesn't pick the direction where his teammate was, the backup was, this guy's now irrelevant. He's not doing anything. So he's just running into that space anyway. So you have to make a decision. Are you making sure he can't get into that space and turning him into your cover? Or are you letting your cover come in, pressure him so you can run down into that space? Like, which one are you doing? You've chosen to do neither. So you haven't covered the space, and your backup is completely useless. So now when we move it forward, in comes this ball, little flick. It's terrible, to be fair. Like, I say that. The only reason I say that is because this is when I used to play indoor years ago. One of my this is how I used to score a lot of my goals, is on that run to the front post, these little flicks. They're so much fun when you score them. But I'd say out of every 10 you score maybe 3, but they look good, so yeah, do it. Ball ricochets out though, simple tap in, keepers on the floor, they get themselves a goal. But most of that is to do that. Leicester, when they win the ball, they don't keep possession of it. When they've got time to pressure out wide, they don't really pressure out wide. When they are out there, they're not making a decision. They're not deciding, right? Like, if you make a decision and you get beat, fine, right? Because you've made a decision and you can learn now, I've made the wrong decision in this scenario, and now I can learn the right decision for that scenario. If you make no decision and you just get beat, you're always just going to get beat. So make a decision and we can teach you the right things and the wrong things to do. But let's move it on. If you've been around my channel for a long time, immediately, as soon as I draw this line, you know exactly what I'm going to say for the next 3.5 minutes. This is the space. This is dangerous. You do not play a high line. Every single player is running towards the what? Oh yeah, the goal. This can be a bad ball into this area, and every single player is running towards the goal. If you are here and they play that ball, you're playing it into a melee of players, and they're running, oh yeah, which is it? Away from the goal. You do not give the enemy an opportunity to run at the goal and head the ball into it for free. There's no player between any one of these players and the goalkeeper. You do not put the ball up into a situation, a big up and under, go on, someone get on the end of it and just not, head it into the net box. And we will come to the fact that they're all offside in a second, but that's neither here nor there. And that's the problem. You don't want to put your team in a situation where you're relying on the linesman for an offside call because you're playing a high line on a bad decision. You just defend it properly. Last season in the Premier League, I think there was between 16 and 22 goals scored because they were defending like this. Teams were so high up outside the 18-yard box, and actually the ball was normally played from here last season, from here. The line was about there. Oh God, I just zoomed in. I think it's when I double click. Let's zoom back out, Cash. Yeah, I'm still zooming in. I don't know what I'm doing. I apologize. Oh my God, I'm still zooming in. I don't know what I'm doing, people. Yeah, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. Definitely, yeah, it is my fault. But the line was about here, and they were putting the ball to about that space there, and they were running on. This is just a reverse of that. There it is. There's the line, and they're just running on to head the ball in the goal. Before we watch the header, though, I want you to watch the flight of this ball, because there is a little bit of a bend on it. Watch. Do you see it? That's because it gets caught up in the wind, and it is windy conditions. So that makes it even more that you don't want to play that high line, to give players the opportunity to run underneath that ball and head it. Now, as well, the players that are running in, look, you know when they were all marked? Oh, they weren't marked. That's right, because you're just doing this stupid high line thing. There's one. God, that's terrible, Cash. There's two. Running in on the back stick, completely and utterly unmarked. Ball comes in. Header. Goal. Simple, because you don't know how to defend at all. Are they offside? You bet. There's 4 of them. Right there. Woo. Oh no, look, I've just drawn the VAR line. Oh, that was difficult. Don't worry. No one can see the linesman. He's not looking straight down the line. It's not a thing, people. No, not at all. Don't worry. Now, this goes down to so many levels here of just bad officiating, problems in football, where referees that use VAR rely on it, so they just let things like this go instead of raising their flag because, well, it'll go to VAR, it'll get overturned. And then that becomes a habit. A habit becomes a thing, and then all of a sudden, you're doing it all the time. And this is them doing it all the time. You can't be doing this. You can't be playing with that higher line. Leicester are their own worst enemies here in this situation. Letting Man United score this winner in Fergie time. Yeah, you've got to think about the problems as well. This is why I wouldn't be, if I'm coaching this team, I wouldn't be letting them get away with that, because relying on a VAR decision or a referee decision to save you from a stupid defending error like that, you can't afford it. You cannot afford it, because now you're out the FA Cup. If you just did the right things, dropping 15 yards, playing it, making them put the ball in front of your defensive line, winning it and attacking down the other end, you wouldn't have lost. But they did. Other than that, I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.